first in housing development broadcasting.
A warm welcome. Thank you for joining us in Housing TV News Hour. This hour coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Flora Ani. Our top stories. Ministry of Housing charges town planners on inclusive, sustainable cities. Residents of Amusu Street in Orilio Igomo area of Lagos State flew as a story building collapses. World Bank urges Nigeria to sustain reforms for economic transformation. NNPC sells petrol to the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria at 995 naira per litre. Housing TV Africa bags Advocacy Award. On the foreign scene, new apartment construction surges in central Indiana. We begin with the housing sector. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Dangiwa, has called on directors and heads of town planning organizations in Nigeria to champion the development of inclusive, sustainable cities that promote economic growth and resilience. Dangiwa made this charge in his keynote address at the opening ceremony of the 2024 National Conference of Directors and Heads of Town Planning Organizations, organized by the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in Akure, Ondo State. The minister lauded the theme of this year's conference, Effective Fiscal Planning as a Panacea for Integrated and Sustainable Urban Development in Nigeria, noting that it has aligned with the renewed hope agenda of the current administration, which seeks to build equitable and resilient cities across the country. Highlighting Nigeria's rapid urbanization, Dangiwa pointed out that the nation's urban population has risen sharply, growing from 50% in 1960 to 54% in 2022, with projections indicating that by 2050, 70% of Nigeria's population will reside in urban areas. Speaking, the Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, who was represented by the State's Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, Benga Olaniyi, stated that concerted and collaborative efforts are needed to combat challenges in the Nigerian cities. A two-story building has reportedly collapsed at Amusu Street in the Orilio Igomo area of Lagos State. According to eyewitness reports, the building suddenly collapsed on Monday morning, with those at the scene fleeing for their lives. In response to distress calls received via the 769-112 toll-free lines at 8:57 a.m., the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASERA, activated its Cobra response team from Onikpanu. The cause of the self-collapsed building was attributed to distress, as further information gathered from LASCA at the incident scene revealed that occupants of the collapsed building had been served notice to quit by LASCA as being distressed, but some occupants remained nonchalant. Fortunately, there was no loss of lives and no injuries were sustained in the course of the building collapsing, as all occupants of the building escaped when the building gave signs of imminent collapse. The Lagos State government said it is working hard to increase housing stock and provide more affordable housing options for the state resident. The State Commissioner for Housing, Moruf Akinderu Fatai, gave the assurance while he led a technical team of the ministry on a tour of the ongoing Lagos Homes housing project at Ajara, Badagry. The commissioner reiterated that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration was committed to providing quality and affordable housing to Lagos residents. According to him, Their commitment is evident in the ongoing Lagos Homes project. Fatai expressed satisfaction with the quality and speed of the construction and emphasized the importance of using high-quality materials and meeting project deadlines. This project was designed to meet the housing needs of residents of Lagos West Senatorial District, with the project consisting of 420 housing units in 35 blocks of various sizes. The Nigerian Police Force has announced plans for a complete redesign and reconstruction of its barracks previously in disrepair to create modern, habitable accommodations that reflect the dignity deserving of its officers. In a statement titled Clarifying the Reconstruction of Falomo Police Barracks and Combating Misinformation, the Nigerian Police Force addressed recent media sensationalism and misinformation regarding the Falomo Police Barracks in Lagos State.
With global examples of PPPs in police infrastructure, including the United Kingdom. PPPs have been utilized to develop and manage police estates and accommodations in the UK, Australia. The New South Wales Police Force has partnered with private developers for residential facilities. The United States. Cities like Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago have adopted PPP models for police housing. Canada. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police has engaged private developers for police accommodations. South Africa, Egypt, and Morocco. These countries have implemented PPPs to address the housing needs of their police officers. India and Singapore. State governments and police forces have collaborated with private developers to upgrade infrastructure and residential facilities. Algeria and Ethiopia. These nations are actively pursuing PPP models to build thousands of housing units for police and military personnel. The growing adoption of PPPs reflects a global trend towards sustainable infrastructure development and enhanced police welfare. Contrary to the recent reports, no officers were forcefully evicted from the Falomo barracks in Lagos. Occupants were given adequate notice, provided relocation assistance, and compensated with 2 million naira each to secure alternative accommodation. Furthermore, they will receive monthly rent, allowances in line with provisions for officers not residing in the barracks. Upon completion of the new facility, these officers will be allotted housing units, ensuring a seamless transition back to improved living conditions. We urge the public to dismiss false narratives regarding this reconstruction and recognize the broader objective of enhancing police welfare. The Nigerian Police Force remains committed to the well-being of its personnel, understanding that dignified living conditions are essential to effective service delivery. The rebuilding of Falomo Barracks reflects our unwavering resolve to provide safe, decent housing for officers, a vision that aligns with global standards and safeguards the future of those who serve. We appeal to the public to support these reforms, which aim to enhance the quality of life for our officers and strengthen the foundation of public service in Nigeria.
The statement noted that the project was initiated under the leadership of former Inspector General of Police Usman Baba Alkale in collaboration with the Lagos State government and private sector partners through a public-private partnership. The Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokin reaffirmed the NPR's commitment to improving officers' housing by convening the first Nigerian Police Force Housing Summit on April 23, 2024. The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners celebrated its valedictory session and award night recognizing hard-working individuals and organizations for their dedication and hard work in the built environment. The event, which featured a series of activities including keynote speeches, testimonies from past and present presidents of the Institute, and networking, provided a platform for industry leaders and professionals to exchange ideas and reflect on the progress of the field. Delivering his speech, the president of the Institute, Town Planner Nathaniel Atebije, highlighted the importance of recognizing and appreciating hard-working individuals in the housing sector.
Our development partners, they came as a miracle and as an answer to prayers. Many times I had cried in my bed in the night. I said, God, remove this stigma from our head. Why is it that town planners, apart from the fact that where our land is located is not even the most ideal place for us as town planners? Because in the first place, I expected that we would have had land in the central business district of Abuja. But by God's own design, or by what men could do, we are in a green area converted into an institutional zone. But there is nothing that we cannot do as town planners, because we can do the miracles of the environment. And that is how that place has been until the same Barrister Festus Adebayo was able to midwife the marriage between NITP and Think Lab. Think Lab, we welcome you. They are our great development partners. And just like past president has said, all our labors over the years, all our cries over the years, by the grace of God, when we are going to hold the next national conference, if no other state in the north takes it, I'm sure it will come to Abuja and people will see the glory of God on NITP by the Secretariat. The appreciation we want to do might not go around everybody, but all of us we deserve the appreciation, because no tree alone makes a forest. Whatsoever the contributions may be that other people have done, they have just leveraged the cooperation that all of us have.
Amongst the awardees who were recognized, Housing TV Africa was awarded for its great advocacy and support towards the Institute and its outstanding role in showcasing and advancing the housing sector through its impactful programs and media coverage. Think Lab Group was also recognized for their good partnership with the Institute. We take a pause here. More news stories coming your way after this break.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.
Glad to have you join us on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Moving on to the presidency. The Office of the Special Advisor to the President on Senate Matters, Senator Bashir Ladu, has called for enhanced cooperation between government agencies and the National Assembly, addressing recent concerns that some agencies have not consistently responded to Senate invitations to appear before committees as requested. The Special Advisor urged all government bodies to honor their commitment by promptly engaging with Senate committees. The Office of the Special Advisor on Senate Matters reiterated its commitment to fostering open communication channels between government agencies and National Assembly, aiming to enhance joint effort towards national development. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has agreed to sell premium motor spirits to members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria at 995 naira per litre. This followed the intervention of the Department of State Services in the controversy between the two parties. The National Vice President of IPMAN, Hamad Fashola, told newsmen that the intervention of the DSS solved a lot of problems facing marketers. Fashola also confirmed that through their intervention, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority agreed to pay the association's outstanding 10 billion naira while resolving issues about direct purchase of petrol from the Dangote refinery. The World Bank has called on Nigeria to maintain its current economic reforms for the next 10 to 15 years in order to achieve a transformative impact on its economy. In his opening address, Senior Vice President of the World Bank Group, Indermit Gill, during the 30th Nigerian Economic Summit held in Abuja Monday, emphasized the critical importance of the reforms recently implemented by the Nigerian government. He noted that these reforms would not only promote long-term economic growth, but also position Nigeria as a competitive force among emerging economies in sub-Saharan Africa and the global stage. The three-day summit theme, Collaborative Action for Growth, Competitiveness and Stability, is being organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group in collaboration with the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. The Gombe State government has approved a minimum wage of 71,451 naira for employees under the state and local government civil service. This followed the signing of an agreement between the state government and organized labor in Gombe on Monday. The signing ceremony was presided over by Deputy Governor Dr. Manasseh Daniel Jatoy, who chairs the state's negotiation committee, alongside the state chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Yusuf Bello. The signing of the agreement followed weeks of negotiations between the government and organized labor. Dr. Jatoy affirms Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's commitment to improving the welfare of workers in the state. The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has announced that the Muhammadu Buhari's airport in Maiduguri, Borno State, will officially commence international operations on January 1, 2025. Keyamo stated this during a visit to the ministry's headquarters in Abuja by Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State. Keyamo confirmed that preparations for the airport's upgrade have been finalized and relevant government agencies have been informed of the impending launch. The minister expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for approving the airport's upgrades, noting that the Northeast sub-region is currently the only geopolitical zone in Nigeria without a fully operational international airport. On the foreign scene, Indianapolis ranks in the top 15 metropolitan area in the country for completing apartment complexes. According to the Rent Cave, Indianapolis is expected to add 1,200 rentals of more than 50 units by the end of this year. Carmel is expected to add 1,120 during that time. Yadi Matrix analyst Doug Ressler says people are flocking to Indianapolis. Indianapolis right now is looking at a very affordable cost of living if you compare it to other cities, he said. Rent Cave surveyed 369 metropolitan area, ranking Indianapolis 11th in the most number of apartments added in a 5-year span, an estimated 11,500 apartments since 2019. That number is expected to grow 40% by 2028. That's the most we can take on Housing TV News at the top of the hour. Before we go, a quick recap of our top story. Minister of Housing charges town planners on inclusive, sustainable cities. Resident of Amosu Street in Orile Igamo area of Lagos State flew as the story building collapses. World Bank urges Nigeria to sustain reforms for economic transformation. NNPC sells petrol to Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria at 995 naira per litre. Housing TV Africa bags advocacy award. On the foreign scene, New apartment construction surges in central Indiana. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to Housing TV Africa on YouTube and follow Housing TV Africa on all social media platforms. Download the Housing TV mobile app via Google Play Store and App Store to stay connected. I am Flora Ani. Bye for now.